Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, this is Zuhair Azmi with Ramadan Reminders, episode 5. In today's episode, we will be talking about the spiritual benefits of fasting. Believe it or not, fasting is food for the soul. I understand it may seem ironic because on the one hand, fasting becomes fasting only when we stay away from food and drink the entire day. At the same time, we claim that fasting is actually food for the soul. So let's see how that is. The first and the most important benefit of fasting is that it weakens our nafs. Imam Ghazali writes that the physical easements are the source of strength for the nafs, including food and drink. So when we eat and drink, when we are physically comfortable, our nafs craves for more. Our desires, they become uninhibited. We always desire for more and more. So the logical conclusion is that depriving the physical body from the same would weaken the nafs, leading to weakened desire to commit sin. Good deeds enhance one's spirituality and bring one closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Therefore, it is quite understandable that fasting entails a great degree of spiritual benefit, particularly with regards to weakening one's ability to sin. The second benefit of fasting is that it strengthens our soul. So remember, it weakens our nafs, but it strengthens our soul. The soul and the nafs are inversely proportional to each other. So if one gets weakened, the other gets strengthened. The soul is the medium through which an individual is inclined towards good deeds and hence towards developing a stronger relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why we feel that heightened sense of closeness to Allah during Ramadan, because the soul no longer has to battle the nafs in the desire to do good, and it is empowered by the fast, hence the increased willingness to do good. So two benefits, the most important benefits: weakening the nafs and strengthening the soul. Because remember that it is your nafs that makes you commit sin, and it is your soul that stops you from doing sins. Also, the nafs and the soul hardly go together. There's a constant fight between the two, and that fight is what is cooled down during Ramadan due to our fast. The third benefit: fasting brings us closer to our thoughts and emotions. It's painful to remain hungry and thirsty, but in spite of that, do we not feel in Ramadan an overbearing sense of peace? We feel calm and serene during Ramadan. Why is this so? This is due to closer connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this closer connection to Allah in turn brings us closer to and gives better control over our own thoughts and emotions, since we slowly drift away from the distractions caused by worldly desires. So fasting brings us closer to our thoughts and emotions. In other words, it gives us an opportunity to think, to give time to ourselves. The fourth benefit of fasting: it relieves us of worldly desires. Fasting does, and it should make us more disciplined in our day-to-day matters. We try our best to refrain from all things that invite us towards sin during our fast. We try to refrain from anger, from expressing our base instincts, during Ramadan, quite naturally, we achieve at least some sort of deviation from the traditional chase of our worldly desires and aspirations. Fasting allows us to be more conscious of ourselves and our actions, which in turn makes us more aware of the unnecessary pursuit of material and inconsequential gains. So, a great benefit, getting relieved of the worldly desires. And fasting does it. It may differ from person to person, but the effect is definitely there. So while we discuss the physical benefits of fasting a great deal, not only the Muslims, even non-Muslims, even people of other faiths, they all fast in one way or the other. And everyone, almost everyone, believes in the benefits that fasting has to offer. But they are all physical and health benefits. What we tend to neglect most of the time are the spiritual benefits that fasting provides to us. So we should never forget that in any act of worship, the spiritual element comes first. So let's start bringing that shift in our thinking from now. Let this Ramadan bring the change that we so much require in our lives. And may we start taking care of our soul more than our body. We try to connect with friends and relatives. We make a lot of effort in doing that. This time, let us put in more effort to connect with Allah the Almighty. So this is Zuhair Azmi taking your leave, and we will meet again in Ramadan Reminders, episode 6. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.